why? Like, I think the question that people are going to be wondering when they watch this is like, why did you make the movie?
Seth has like this thing about him that I feel like I used to have, like this happy-go-lucky, quirky like thing, and I feel like I fucking I ran that into the ground somehow years ago. And I feel like this stabbing could do that to him. What if we can prank Seth for the next 6 months to think about this movie more than he thinks about getting stabbed?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he's kind of like, it seems like his instinct and kind of your instinct too is to use comedy to kind of get over this and to use comedy, I think, for what it's meant for, right? Which is make life bearable, especially when there's like crazy shit that happens, like random stabbing.
That's what I like about the toggle downfall name, because
Yeah, what does that mean?
when you're walking through, the plains in Minecraft and it starts pouring rain and it's fucking up your shit, you just type /toggle downfall, and then slowly the rain stops and the sound gets all cool and the clouds part and the sun comes out. But then I started thinking about like systems. If you run a command into like a coded system, it's gonna do just that. Comedy is like a cheat code. I was thinking it's like, you see something happen to one of your friends or someone like you, and you run toggle downfall, like everything is just set in place.
It all kind of clears up.
It was no joke. An Austin comedian is recovering at home tonight after being randomly stabbed in Southeast Austin.
CBS Austin's Jordan Bonke found out why this victim can't help but laugh at it all.
Last Friday, Seth was walking to this gas station at Ben White and Burleson for coffee. That's when Murray says a random man following him started stabbing him with a knife. He started to run away to call 911, and once he was at the hospital, he learned he had 5 stab wounds throughout his back, arms, and shoulder. The joke writer couldn't help but see this as an opportunity. Murray's jokes have been used on Funny or Die, Comedy Central, even a late-night talk show. So when the comedy world heard that one of their own was going through something not so funny, the funds started to roll in on a crowdfunding account to help pay for medical expenses. But if laughter is the best medicine, Murray won't be out of commission too long. In South Austin, Jordan Bonke, CBS Austin News.
I was at my girlfriend Caitlin's house. We always go there on my days off. I was on this kick to watch Scrubs all the way through for like the 7th time, because I like Scrubs a lot. It's 11:45 in the morning. I've done this walk multiple times. I go by a church, a little park, and some other houses, and it's kind of on a main road. So I'm walking, just normal, and then I see like a guy behind me like 400 yards away. I don't know why I looked over my shoulder. I didn't hear him or anything. Maybe traffic, I have no idea. So, saw him and I keep walking. And then I hear, like, when you scrape your feet on pavement, like that sound? Yeah. Turned around, and then the same guy that was like 400 yards away is now like 50 feet away. And I was like, that's weird. And I was like, maybe he's a fast walker. I was like, he's probably just exercising. I'm just going to go about my day. And then he got closer, still walking fast. So I thought he wanted to pass me, like he wanted to like speed walk past me. It's just me being trusting in the world. So I sidestepped to the left. I felt 2 what I thought were punches in the back. It was just like that. And then when I turned around, he waved his arms a little bit, and I still didn't know what was going on until I heard my hoodie rip. But I heard the hoodie rip. I was like, oh, he's not punching me. That's a freaking weapon. He said F you N-word to me. Like, that was his only words. And he went like this, and he had the knife in his hand. And I knew I probably could have speared him to the ground, but then I realized if I had him on the ground, his arms are free. He could like stab me in the neck or head or whatever. So instead, I turned around and I ran straight into traffic, and there was cars coming. Mainly, I was thinking, well, if they see me in traffic, 1, someone's going to see what's happening. 2, I just did something crazy. He's got to be crazy to follow me. So I ran in traffic and he didn't follow me. He turned around and went somewhere else. I don't know. So I just kept on booking it towards the gas station because I wasn't there yet. And then I felt my arm start to get really warm and wet. Pulled off my hoodie, wrapped it around my arm, and then stood in a gas station parking lot bleeding. It was almost like if you were like walking and you had two paths, and one path was the shortest, quickest path, but that path was just covered in poo. You're looking like, ooh, I'm not going down that way.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like. It was like, oh, I don't want to deal with that. Like, fire department guy literally went, oh shit, that's a hole. So that was the one that was in the front that I didn't even know happened. I don't know how the ones that were the worst happened. Like, those ones are erased from my mind for whatever reason. So yeah, the paramedics got there and they declared me trauma, which I actually wasn't sure what meant at the time. So basically what that means is they push a button or send a radio signal, and everyone at the hospital you're going to is ready to make sure you live because they just assume you're not going to make it. When I got there, there was like 20 people covered in plastic, like ET. 7 different people to stick a needle in me, like one person just for blood, one person just for IV. Like just it's like it's assembly line of people working on a person. And then they gave me ketamine. The TV turned into a robot cat. And there was this experience I had where I was only a jaw. Like, that's how I felt. Like, I was just a jaw. I didn't have legs, arms, torso, nothing. I had this theory that if I fell asleep, I would die. But I kept on trying to, like, crack jokes the whole time on ketamine. And then the doctor, just out of nowhere, said, you back, Seth? You back? And then I was like, yeah, where'd I go? Like, I was confused why she said.
So it wasn't even like you missed time.
Yeah, it was like literally, you know when you're like about to sleep and like you're in super REM and then you like get jolted awake?
Yeah.
It was like that, without the jolt. Yeah. So I didn't know what happened, but it was during the whole trauma part. Not during like the surgery after. It was like the...
And how long were you there?
Like 30 seconds. Not that long. Just a baby die.
I finally get to the hospital. One of the nurses like took me back. They were like, we're gonna take you back into like a secret waiting room that is only for like family of people of victims of crimes.
So it's like the green room for tragedy?
Yeah, exactly. So they come in and they go, okay, to me and his aunt. They're like, you can see him now. And I'm like, yes. And we both walk towards the door, and then the cop's like, no, she can go, you can't. And my heart just like sunk. And I was like, no, this isn't fair. Like, she gets to see him. I need to be there. Like, I need to be the first one that walks in the room. This isn't cool. And he's like, no, I need to keep questioning you. And he just does the same thing over and over again.
Did he close the door when he did all that?
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, the door was closed.
Was he in between you and the door?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like, who did this? Why did this happen? Who did this? And at this point, I was just like fucking dying, because it wasn't fair. Like, she was in the room with him, and she was talking to him, and I just wasn't able to. And, oh, I'm breaking up right now. Like, that was really hard. That was really hard for me, and
We should
I
prank
did-
this dude.
What?
I said, we should prank this dude.
I hate him so much. Like, I just
I mean, I know
wanted
he's
to
just
be
doing
like,
his job being an asshole,
Yeah.
but like, I'd still love to get to prank him some way. Like with something
Yeah.
dumb.
A lot of comedians have to face adversity, you know, when they're growing up, whether they suffer from depression, or they suffer from a bad childhood, or whatever it may be. That's what helps make them funny. Sometimes that could be a big driving force for them. So I think in Seth's case, that's what was interesting. Is I thought to myself, if I can earn his trust, I can get him in front of, you know, our cameras, get him comfortable enough to talk with me. I feel like if I show a little bit of my own personality, and mix it in with my job as a journalist, as a storyteller, then he'll be able to understand what we're trying to do and say, like, hey, here's a victim of a crime, but what makes this interesting is here's a personal story of a guy who could use this and have a good attitude about his circumstances here.
Yeah, so in the beginning of this, Kalen was saying something about Seth screaming in his sleep.
Does it wake him up? Does he wake up screaming, or he screams and then is still sleeping?
Well, she says he also does this thing where it looks like he's gasping for air underwater. He's trying to get to the top. Well, I didn't think anything of it until I interviewed Jordan Bonke of CBS Austin.
Yeah, hey, no worries. Listen, I was on a pretty big story last night, so if you don't mind me being a little groggy, make sure we do the interview a little bit early.
When I was setting up, he was taking a nap because he was pretty tired. The guy screamed in his sleep. Yeah, it's nuts.
Wow, I've never even heard of that. And now there's two people. What if you offered people like $5 to just like record themselves sleep? There's a lot of people that do stuff for $5. How do you get them to not fake it?
Well, we don't talk about the screaming in the sleep.
Oh.
We just say that it's like a voyeuristic montage of people sleeping for art. I don't know.
No.
That's cool. Yeah, do that. I'd take $5 to record myself sleeping, then I'd get to look at myself sleeping, see what's weird.
Well, I feel like if I was screaming in my sleep, somebody would tell me.
Your neighbors would probably let you know. No, I guess not. You don't tell your neighbors anything, right?
The reality of it is that Facebook is an absolute nightmare, and what we're doing every night is just staring at hell. We're scrolling and looking at posts that are hell after hell after hell. And it does not surprise me that people are beginning to scream in their sleep, It's kind of been happening since the election.
We're going to do a little bit of good old-fashioned stand-up for you first. His name is Tim Pizza. You might know him from Funny or Die, and you might know him from TimTesseract.com. Here he is, Tim Pizza.
I get weird, I get stressed out a lot. But I found out that if you're stressed out, that watching nature can really help you not be stressed. Like turtles are my favorite go-to for when I'm stressed. Like they're floating around in the sea, they're just so happy, and they're just so fluid and beautiful. Like you never see a turtle just flip over a table and start choking his fucking wife. He goes in his shell and he internalizes everything. Long way for a pun. Yeah. I don't know, man.
So, my boyfriend died 4 months ago. But only for a minute. Because he can't commit to anything. No, I really wish that we had gotten married before he got stabbed. Because then the whole till death do us part thing would already be over and I would have options.
There was a young man from Calcutta who should have had better aim with that box cutter. All right, last one. My good friend Seth was attacked when a coward sliced up his back. He's still milking it for clicks, but his pitch jokes ain't shit. So he needs to get stabbed again, stat.
Caitlin did mention I have PTSD from this whole event, right when it happened. I did not like people being behind me, which I kind of like because it really settled the argument if we should try pegging or not. Solve that one.
Henry had to go with him to the bathroom and stand behind him, and Henry had to guard him and make sure that no one came in behind him. I'm not sure what his brief explanation was. It was PTSD, deal with it.
Can you
tell me how Seth was before and how Seth is now, if there's any differences?
No, honestly, not really. I don't know if he has more nerves or anything like that now related to that stuff, but he doesn't seem different to me.
They're saying that the dude probably came out of these bushes. You can actually see motion through the bushes right now, which is weird. And then there's like tagging and gang signs, but definitely some weird stuff going on over there. So they never found the guy, but he's probably in there. Pretty much.
Are they like watching this?
I don't know.
Because I kind of want to take a shot at it. I don't.
There's a guy in that truck. You have witnesses.
Oh, right. At what point did you realize there was a witness in the truck?
Me?
Yeah, when you just said that.
As soon as I pulled up.
Like, that's how you think? No, like, well, yeah, I mean, like, we are at the scene of the crime, so that does make a lot of sense, but do you get that everywhere?
Yeah, I noticed a lot of people, certain places. It's not as bad before where I would just be super anxious and like look at everybody, but now I just know where everyone's at.
Yeah.
It's hard to find things as funny or as optimistic when you're scared that your life or your safety is on the line all the time, because it's just like a very specific point of adrenaline that you're always in.
I know that you heard me recounting what happened with the detective and how not cool he was with me.
Yeah, he seemed like kind of a dick.
Okay, so I think that he is the one that you're drawing.
Okay.
To Detective, my name is Timothy Pizza. I'm writing to inform you that when you interrogated my friend Caitlin Renee, she was having the worst moment of her whole life, and you cornered her in a weird little room at a hospital where the love of her life, Seth, was dying, and you used her emotionally and frightened her. I know what your job is, and I can't imagine the shit you must see. Unfortunately, what you did in there is probably what you're supposed to do. Anyways, this is how people see you. Me, myself, I recently discovered that the world is full of good people. Caitlin and Seth are some of them. Maybe I can be one someday too. So could you. Try harder.